all that you need to prepare for the TISS entrance exam. In this environment, you are firstly logged in by a secured username and password. So that's how the page looks once you log in. Inside the page, you will find all the resources that help you to prepare for the social science entrance exams. Whether it is the admissions notifications right on the top, as you go down, you have all your TISSNET full length tests which have been created keeping in mind the pattern of the exam. There are paper analysis of past years to give you an insight into the type and the trend of questions that you can expect on the actual test day. The general knowledge, otherwise, when it comes to the context of India, can be a very rigorous and a huge affair. But in Catalyst, over the years of 10 years of experience, we have been able to collate the essential elements of GK, which the TISS entrance exam or any other social science entrance exam would be expecting you to know. That is why we start off with static GK, politics, one of the most important foundational elements of your GK. And when you get into that, you will find important readings connected to politics that you need to know, starting with something like an Indian constitution. And under the Indian constitution, you will be able to spot that is exactly the secured login that I was talking of. Important facts to remember, the important dates, the different committee members for the foundation of the constitution, the parts and the articles and the schedules which are connected to the different themes that the constitution accounts for, because there are a lot of issues connected to scheduled tribes, gender, women, equality, liberty, secularism, based on which questions are asked specifically in the general knowledge rounds. This also becomes a great reckoner for all of you when you are preparing for your interviews later on. So, from the politics, when the next section that we want to show you is the section of Act, Policy, Scheme, and Budget Primer. Under this, very importantly, what we are doing is we are focusing on the essential socio-economic policies and bills that have been passed by the Indian government in the recent past. So, if you see under these, to give you an understanding, the Health, Education and Social Welfare bills passed in 2020 sums up the most important bills which have been passed under these segment in the recent past. So whether it is the Ayurveda bill, whether it is the Essential Commodities bill, or the Epidemic Disease bill in the context of the coronavirus pandemic, these are important attributes that you need to know when you're preparing for your social science entrance exam. We don't end with just that, by the way. So I'll just give you a further insight. There are these essay topics which come later on with your pre-interview test, or appearing for the second rounds of exams. Like TISS has a pre-interview test. Azim Premji University in Bangalore, they have a test paper which has an essay section also. Then comes the most essential current affairs. The current affairs again pinpoint to essential socioeconomic mm, events which have taken place in the recent months. So we are showing you November 2020, right from disaster management attributes of Nevar, which hit the Tamil Nadu coast, to things like the India's first moss garden, which talks about biodiversity, because environment, ecology, they are essential parts of the social science discourses. And then going ahead with understanding the BRICS summit, which was hosted virtually by Russia, its theme, which was global stability, shared security. You will get everything that is important for your specific current affairs without digressing, or without reading or over reading GK, that will optimize your preparation for TISSNET and similar exams very, very effectively. Moving ahead from the current affairs section, the next section of our virtual learning environment that we want you to experience is a section of that we call the knowledge maps. Under the knowledge maps, all the essential issues plaguing our society have been converted into what we call the mind maps or the knowledge maps. So, if, for example, under this, we want to open something like farm loan waivers, and under farm loan waivers, when you click onto it, you will be provided, instead of a long note, a clear sort of a flow chart, as you can see out here, with the key points connected to farm loan waivers in India that you can remember, and maybe some facts and schemes that might be connected, names of committees that might be there. So that's how you remember your GK much more effectively, because GK is not about mindlessly reading from everywhere possible and trying to remember. And it's not only about, like, just doing thousands of quizzes, but it is more about reading in a structured manner. So that is how the current affairs and the knowledge maps they stand. Then we come to the section of some of these language ability tests which are given there to help you with your critical understanding, as well as your subject and topic specific test connected to GK. At this moment, you will see verbal ability test 1, 2, parajumbles, reading comprehension. Each of these tests, like the full length test, give you an evaluation of your performance right away, right after you submit the test paper online. Then comes some further static readings on Indian art, culture, literature. So, when it comes to static and GK, you should know what each of these eras in history actually symbolize in the context of the modern world. So, modern Indian history, which dates back from the time of the Sepoy Mutiny, or like rather the Battle of Plassey, till the time when we became independent, is essentially the most important part of our static GK from history when it comes to social science entrances. While the period before that, right, the medieval age or even the ancient history, are more connected to art, literature, and those forms. So you will be getting all of these in a very concise manner. I mean, by concise, I mean it is much shorter than the actual history, yet it's still long, but that will give you an edge to prepare better. So, under Indian history, that you can see out here, modern, medieval, ancient, you will find, starting off with something like a modern history, the important elements starting from your Battle of Plassey, 1757, dating back and then going down till our independence. So that's again an important part of your learning. There you go, Indian modern history. So all the important aspects of history that you are aware of, but in the context of the importance of the exam, will be shown to you, as you can see out here, right? Moving ahead from GK, we now will skip back to some elements of the analytical ability, the numerical ability. So you will see these are some of the tests which are given there, which are essential for your learning and knowledge when it comes to the TISS entrance exam. Then we come to the analytical and numerical ability lessons. All the important lessons given here in the format that you require to know and understand. So these kind of sum up your very essential readings and revision, along with a lot of examples with each of these topics that you can see. So if I open like a topic like, say for example, something like a probability, which sometimes makes its way quite often in social science entrance exams. Under probability, you will find all the important knowledge and concept connected to probability given out there, right? Followed by a lot of examples, the important definitions, the important pointers, the exceptions when it comes to solving questions on probability. So that's how this maps its uh, lesson for you. Moving further ahead, we are not yet done. This is a very exhaustive and very carefully curated uh, learning environment for you. So, after the analytical and numerical ability lessons, you have the language ability lessons that you can see out here, the important ones that are critical in the context of exams. Then we come to the recently introduced TISSMAT. Some of these, are learnings which you would be requiring if you're appearing for the human resource management and ODCL courses at TISS. So, starting with your Indian labor laws, we also are collating the business current affairs, which would be up very soon on the site, right? This also contains every year TISS MAT mirror tests specific to the 30 to 45 minutes exam that TISS has been conducting since 2020 with the TISS MAT exam. Then we come to some more readings connected to social studies. That's very important for the exam. Specific readings on social movements, important days and themes, census of India, when we come to environment, and so on and so forth. So that is how the entire virtual learning environment maps for you, which over the years have served so many of our past aspirants, over 500 of them, making it to the TISS Masters since 2011.